Aloha, it's good seeing you. We'll see you in 3 weeks. If you have a chance to watch this video, great. I would say you don't have to do this, but in your brain, maybe when you got some downtime on the flight or wherever, driving, yada, yada, keep this in mind. If we're playing a G major, let's go through the circle fifths. If you're playing a C major, we can often elect to see this C major as putting down a finger for the A, and that becomes our C6. Just putting this up top is our higher extremity of that A note. So what does it matter? C major meet A minor. That's a C6 right on. Or we could have it as an A minor 7. When we move that up, absolutely. Our D major, if we put that finger down, becomes a D6 or a B minor 7. But we got to make sure to put this up top. So what I'd like you to do is maybe see that, as we've said, majors have relative minor. They're generally 1 or 2 notes away. C major, A minor. When we go to, what's our next one? G major, E minor. Our D major, if we just add the note here, we would have our D major moving to our B minor. That's just 1 note. That kind of works, yeah. It has a little open there, but it's not so terribly bad. When we go to our next chord, the D, E, what are we in? A, so A major. If I were to just take this fingering right here and add 1 more note to it, what would that note be? Well, we can move it backwards. That would have our F sharp in there, but our A major, when we play our F sharp minor, looks like this. So our A major built here would have our F sharp that 1 note right there, right below it, makes the F sharp minor. Ta-da. When we're doing that up and on, we could use that for every single one of those. That's the correlation between finding the 1 and then the relative minor. Our idea about using these through pitch and form when relating to form and how to hear music, whether what section it's in makes sense or it doesn't, or you're trying to figure out what key it's in or what the melody is. The tools or the resources that I use are if I hear a melody and no matter what it is, it'll always have notes that have tempo that are flowing in some sort of fashion. If it doesn't, and it's ad libitum or it's monotonal or atonal, just has no center of tonic at all, that would be a different case. But what we're looking for is to be able to hear the A section. So I'm just gonna make one up. We're gonna, let's say we're in the key of C. C is gonna go to E minor, to a G, to an A minor, back to C. There should be a passing chord in between there, right back to the C. So A minor, G7, C. You see it, right? So melody over the top. There, I'm feeling it. So we have, what do we go to the next part? We had, moves down, so maybe we move the melody line. So we're doing, feeling of this, I would have a melody line. That feels like it would fit over the top of it. Now, if we were gonna move that, or we went to a different section that wasn't just our if we're going to be a little bit relative. Right now, what we're experiencing is the key of C, right? We have C major, A minor, that's our 1 and our 6. Our E minor is our minor 3rd, and G is our major 5th. So if we're going to be moving that, let's say we did a B section, and we played something outside that pocket. Well, how about we play a D minor, a G major, and then an A minor, and then an E minor. Oh, so major. Not a big fan of the 2 minors. How about D major, G minor, A minor, and then F major, back into our G, and that would be a good thing. So now I'm writing a song rather than just trying to give an example. I haven't lost you, have I? I hope not. So the beginning A form would have our first chord. C, it would go to an E minor, play our G major, and an A minor, G7, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. So that keeps going. Our melody. Now, all those notes are part of all of those scale preferences. We're just making sure not to hit any wrong notes or go out of key. When we go to our next movement, the B part, it's still the same as the A. It has the same feeling. Next thing we did, we were going to the D to the G, so we have the dun 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 dun. So that B section is kind of different than the A section. Well, the idea is if we went through the A again, C major, E minor, G major, A minor, G7, down to C. The next time we go through, we don't have to necessarily go to the D and do the B again. We could do a binary thing, which is A and B, and then ternary, and go to a C section, which just feels like just a bridge. So if the first part was... Second part was... The C part that could come after that could go something like... It could become monotonal. We just got rid of all progressions. Now we're hovering on that the G. And it seems as if I have an A ringing in there, so we've got a G sus. Have fun playing with just that droning G using that A sus. Anything you want to do while having fun with that. And eventually, if you could find room inside that bridge to get to that same feeling of A, but don't do A in a major, which we had C major, go to a C minor. Following suit with that, what other chords would sound great doing the same feeling? Our melody was... that fit over. Well, after we're in this, not the B section, Now we're in the C section. We can do anything we want here. If this was just on a looper and you heard somebody do it, I would have the feeling of doing like a, there it is. How would I achieve that? Ooh, that's a hard one. Maybe that's too big of a stretch. There's our G sus in the beginning. Moving it. G sus 4, G5, keeping that drone up. That could be the whole C section and having, at that point, how do you get back to your next section, which would be your D section? That would be your A, but just in a minor. Now, instead of going to C, maybe a C minor. That way you could take it to another section that could take you out of your bridge and eventually find your say, but back into your groove. We went to a G major sus 2. We were able to set a part where a solo or an interpretation where somebody could have fun doodling on it using modes or scales, and then the dynamics would build it back to be able to drop in and out of either going back to that C minor part last time through, something magically planned. You can mutate or modulate to another key. The sky's the limit really when it comes to writing this. So the conscious effort, try and be aware of what's going on in here. And I know when you're listening to classical music, maybe it's a little too fast or all over the place. This kind of interpretation also adheres to bluegrass music, country music, gospel, folk, reggae, R&B, anything. This is the form that we use. Sometimes it's not as convoluted. Sometimes it's very convoluted. I hope this wasn't too over the top today and a good representation. Aloha. See you in a couple weeks.